Hello, my name is Sritisha and welcome to our channel Coding with JS. We will learn what JavaScript is, where it runs, and how it became the language of the web.
Every website you have ever used runs JavaScript. It is the only programming language browsers understand natively. That one fact explains almost everything about it. But JavaScript today reaches far beyond the browser. It runs servers, phones, desktop apps, even hardware. So let us start at the beginning and see how that happened. The story starts in 1995 at a company called Netscape. A developer named Brendan Eich was given a very short deadline. He wrote the first version of the language in 10 days. 10 days for a language now running on billions of devices. That rush is why some corners of JavaScript are strange. We will meet a few of those corners later in this series. The deadline came from a browser war that Netscape was losing. They needed a scripting language shipped before the next release. It was almost immediately given a confusing name. The language was originally called Mocha, then LiveScript. It was renamed JavaScript purely to ride on Java's popularity. The two languages are not related in any meaningful way. Different syntax, different rules, different design goals. If you remember one thing from this section, remember that. Other browsers wanted their own version of the language. That could easily have split the web into incompatible pieces. So in 1997, the language was handed to a standards body. The written specification is called ECMAScript. Every browser then implements that same specification, which is why the same code runs everywhere. Without that agreement, you would write a version per browser. Anyone who worked on the web in the early 2000s remembers that pain. Let us write the smallest program that actually does something. A comment first, describing what we are about to do. Then we store a piece of text under a name. The keyword const declares a value we will not reassign. The text itself is called a string. And now we need a way to actually see it. Console.log is how JavaScript prints things. You will use it constantly while learning. Let us run this file and watch what happens. The output appears immediately. That is JavaScript executing start to finish. 3 lines, 1 value, 1 message on the screen. Now where exactly did that program run? For 14 years, the answer was always in a browser. Then in 2009, something important happened. A project called Node took the browser's engine out on its own. Suddenly, JavaScript could read files and answer network requests. The same language running as a real server. That single decision doubled the value of learning JavaScript. One language now covered both the front end and the back end. The two environments share the language but not the tools. This line only works in a browser. It reaches for the document, which is the page itself. A server has no page, so there is no document there. And this line only works in Node. It asks for the file system, which a browser is never allowed to touch. Today, that list of environments has grown a long way. It still runs in every browser on the planet. On the server, there are now 3 serious runtimes. Node came first, then Deno, then Bun. On phones, React Native drives genuinely native interfaces. Not a website in a wrapper, real native components. On desktop, Electron packages it into installable apps. Editors, chat apps, and design tools are built this way. It even runs on microcontrollers and embedded hardware. One language, 5 completely different worlds. That reach is the single strongest reason to learn it. Let us clear up the naming question properly. ECMAScript is the specification document. It describes exactly how the language must behave. JavaScript is the thing you actually write and run. So ES6 and ES2015 are the same release, named 2 ways. You will see both spellings constantly. That 2015 release changed the language more than any other. It introduced let and const, arrow functions, and classes. Modules, promises, and template literals arrived too. Almost every modern JavaScript tutorial assumes E6. Before it, the language felt genuinely dated. After it, it became pleasant to write. Since then, releases happen every single year. ES 2016, ES 2017, and onwards without a break. Each one is small, which is exactly the point. Small yearly changes are easier to learn than one huge jump. So the language you learn today will still be current tomorrow. Nothing you learn in this series is going to expire. One last thing that confuses almost every beginner. Is JavaScript interpreted or is it compiled? The honest answer is that it is both. It starts by interpreting your code so the page loads instantly. Then it watches which parts run most often. Those hot parts get compiled to real machine code while running. That technique is called just-in-time compilation. It is the reason modern JavaScript is genuinely fast. We will look at that engine properly in the next video. So let us pull all of that together. JavaScript was written in 10 days in 1995. It was standardized as ECMAScript so every browser agreed. Node took it out of the browser in 2009. ES6 modernized it in 2015 and it now updates yearly. Today it runs on browsers, servers, phones, desktops, and devices. It is not Java, and it is both interpreted and compiled. That is what JavaScript is and why it is worth your time.